Secretary. Good evening, classmates, parents, friends, family, faculty, and administration. Before I begin with anything, I would like to thank all those who made it possible for me to be standing here before you this evening. In particular, I would like to thank my incredible mother and father who have done so much for me over the years. There are no words I can conjure up that would offer adequate thanks for all they've done. So thanks, Mom and Dad. Now today, we're all gathered here for one reason, to celebrate the graduation of the class of 2014. But before I begin to ramble on with my speech, I would like to offer my sincere apologies. Speaking up here at this podium, I realize I am like a teacher in a classroom before the beginning of Christmas break. All of you in this auditorium are required to look at me, but none of you really want to hear what I'm saying. You want to get out of here as soon as possible and focus on what you'll be doing next. However, I challenge you to indulge at this moment and not rush to the present. This is the time to reflect on the past. So, knock knock. All right, tough crowd. You guys can do better. I know you can. Let's try this again. Knock knock. There you go. Now, don't we all feel better? Wow. Isn't it amazing how lame we've become over the years? Your lack of response when I originally asked it evidently confirms how our sense of humor evolves as we mature to the point where we will not even respond to a simple, innocent knock-knock joke. When would someone have excitedly answered this question? Elementary school. At this point in our lives, we were easily amused and fascinated with the most plain remarks and situations. A classic scene, including laughing elementary school students, can be found at lunchtime when we learn the priceless life lessons of the true value of a snack pack and what exactly it could be traded for. Though Mom would not be happy with wasting food, our elementary school selves thought otherwise. The food was surely being put to good use. Each student at the lunch table would chip in whatever possible to make the most creative, colorful, and possibly vomit-inducing concoction of different foods and liquids. Upon completion of the masterpiece, one lucky student at the table would be pressured into eating the gruesome blend. This was not done without reward, though. The student who ate the mixture might be given all of one's money, hypothetically. If you eat that, I'll give you all my money. And for all the parents who sent lunch money with their kids, I would like to thank you. You made some good money back in the day. The lunch table would snicker and laugh as the one chosen to eat the mixture struggled to put it down. If the student actually ate the blend, they could gladly walk away with a loot of money. You could always count on the one jerk at the table who claimed they had their fingers crossed, though. You never said no crosses count. This would instigate an eruption of laughter by everyone at the table, except me, who I just held my nose for roughly 30 seconds while I ate that nauseating concoction. So what did I gain from all this? Well, besides my 37 cents, I learned that not all opportunities are ones you want to take. Each day, a new opportunity will arise in some form, whether it be in the workplace or social setting. How you then weigh the pros and cons and filter this information you're presented with is vital to making informed life decisions. Maybe the awfulness I did ate rewarded me with a little money, but not without a nice regretful bellyache to accompany it. Then there was recess time, the best part of the day, literally. Not even going home after school was better than the precious minutes one could spend outside in this elementary utopia. The shining sun, a vast expanse of green grass, monkey bars, swing set, football, kickball, foursquare, dandelions, the possibilities were endless in this world of freedom. Heading out to recess, everyone knew their place in the recess line. If you cut in front of someone you were not supposed to, this was a serious offense, and you would forever be labeled a budger or line jumper. After being told to be quiet by our teachers as we walked down the halls to end up outside, we would then separate, and due to the serious cooties epidemic prevalent in elementary school, separate into boys and girls before engaging in our favorite activity. Out at recess, you could find another student laughing as they were chased by another during tag, hiding during a version of hide and seek, or even observing another student's failure as they tripped and fell or were tackled in a game of football. No matter what type of person you were, you could always find humor in something on the playground. Finding a niche on the playground was necessary to being able to survive the remaining hours we were cruelly imprisoned in the school cells, known as classrooms. Each person was able to lead their own enjoyment out on the freeing green grass or concrete jungle of the playground. As we graduates walk across this stage and are presented with a newfound freedom to explore the playground of the world, we need to remember to find our niche. There are endless paths one can take on life's journey. Judging off everyone's Where's Waldo skills, though, I think you guys will have no problem finding your own path. As Waldo's long-lost relative, Ralph Waldo Emerson, would say, Do not go where the path may lead. Go instead where there is no path and leave the trail. Do not follow what others have done simply because it is easier. Your true niche can be lying in the overgrown forest. Like an architect with a vision for a house, have a vision for yourself. Another feature of elementary school that highlighted your time there was being able to sit down every day and see your own autograph right there in front of you on your desk. This assured that you truly own the desk, not the taxpayers who paid for it, and showed those around you who ruled that 18 by 24 area of space. These sweet signatures were also called name tags by the teachers, but as famous as we were in elementary school, we preferred the term autograph. We felt a sense of security and confidence in being able to have our own desks all to ourselves. Much like today, we value recognition and our independence. Though, as we sat with our name tags on our desks, we longed to be the big 5th graders in elementary school, then 8th graders in middle school, and seniors. I encourage you to take pride in whatever passion you end up pursuing in your life, just as much as us elementary youngsters prided ourselves on our name tags and desks. As my mother likes to say, success is being content in the routine of everyday living. If you truly enjoy and pride yourself in the passion and career you choose, you will experience this success. Before you set out on achieving this success, though, let's deeply reflect on how much school has changed since our days in elementary school. Remember everyone's favorite game in elementary school, Heads Up, 7 Up? Yeah. And then even the sweetest, most innocent 3rd grader turned into the most dirty, rotten cheater when they snuck a peek at the person's shoes who put their thumb down. You could always find this giggling child hiding under their arm as they figured out their culprit. We went from playing silly Heads Up, 7 Up to mercilessly beating up Central Columbia on their new glitzy turf football field. We went from tattling on everyone for not getting a turn to kick during a recess kickball game to completing a 10-minute speech for Castile's graduation project. We went from just learning to read and write to cramming a 15-page research paper for Callahan in 2 days. Then we went from counting on our fingers to whatever the heck we were doing in calculus with K. Sorry, K. I really don't get it, actually. As we progressively moved through these unforgettable experiences, it became apparent just how special these times were when we laughed immaturely at the lunch table, when we were given our own name tags, and when we still did have recess. We always want to move on like society tells us to. But before moving on, enjoy the current place you are at now. As I walked out of the doors of Bloomsburg University's Care Union this past Saturday night, leaving my senior prom, I realized I would no longer experience a traditional organized high school dance. It made me ponder, this is really it. The novelty of attending one of these special dances will now only be a treasured memory. In high school, you do not think your last homecoming or prom will ever come until it is over. So live each moment to its fullest capacity and don't wish the next chapter in your life too soon. It's not worth it, because eventually you turn to the chapter where you're in the real world, and to say the least, the real world does not provide recess or snack time with milk and cookies. However, as you go about your day, living, remember to give yourself a little recess time or sneak a cookie on your lunch break. And don't forget to send one to your high school friends too. They're the ones who help shape you into the person you are today as you mature together, experiencing ups and downs and your most invaluable memories. Opportunity is knocking at the door for each of us today. The opportunity that awaits each and every one of us after we strut across this stage and accept our diplomas. So when we hear life's knock knocks, let's make sure we answer them, class of 2014.
Awesome, Ed. Awesome.
Really banana. I told you to lay out the school tacos. Middle school. 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. The bridge years. Caught between innocence and responsibility, between cuteness factor and attitude, between elementary and high school. Junior high remains a glorious period of ignorance toward what the world thinks. We often hear people say that high school is the time when we can act stupid and make mistakes. But let's be real, folks. We didn't need to be told that in middle school. We just didn't. The class of 2014 was absolutely no exception. This being said, as with each graduating student body, our stupidity was our own. It was a unique and an individualized embarrassment promoted by how we acted, what we said, and especially what we laughed at. Now, obviously, we weren't juvenile. That would be unthinkable. Now, being the sophisticated group we were, only classy jokes made us giggle in English or burst out laughing during lunch. You know, things like typing 5138008 into our calculators and then turning them upside down. Or the not-so-occasional rocket ship scrawled on the retired worksheet. Pretty much any joke that could be found at the corner of Inappropriate Alley and Immature Lane was fair game. And you could tell by our health classes that some people didn't even know what they were saying. They just knew it was probably dirty, and that was good enough to get them a few laughs. It wasn't the only way, however. Being obnoxious was a great alternative to generating humorous attention. The bigger the better in some cases. I mean, what 12, 13, and 14-year-olds aren't going to find it amusing when some kid just starts yelling when he's supposed to be quiet? As middle schoolers, we love that sort of outright rebellion, full of obvious gestures and comments. Sometimes these exclamations became recurring sayings. They not only stuck around, but spread. Let's see. For us, there was, "Your mom," which was used in surprising ways that sometimes made no sense whatsoever. I didn't know what the weather's like today. "Your mom!"